Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler. Welcome to this Council Connection. I'm here on the first floor of Reno City Hall with Council Member Jessica Sferrazza. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
And she has two great guests, the Community Development Director, Hester, and Maureen McKissick. And I'm going to read your title to make sure I get it right, Grant and Fund Development Manager.
You got it.
So today we're going to talk about the Recover program. And Jessica, why is this program so important at this time?
Well, I think if you look at the unemployment rate here in the state of Nevada, it's about 13%. Washoe is up above 12. And the city council took on an initiative and said we need to look at helping small businesses and helping them be able to create jobs. So the recovery program does that. What we're doing is we're helping businesses who ordinarily couldn't get financing. We're helping them get financing to open and employ people in these hard economic times.
Let's back up a little bit about, John, maybe you could talk a little bit about how the program got to where it is.
Sure. Councilwoman Sferrazza asked, is there a way we can help small businesses, particularly when the foreclosures were hitting not only residential but commercial. Councilwoman Zadra asked about training for small businesses. Mayor Cashel asked about the fees for development. And we were also at the council direction, probably initiated by Dave Iazzi, looking at economic diversification and other kinds of industries. So we put all that together, and instead of bringing back 4 separate programs, we came back to the council and said, let's call it the Reno Community Vitality and Economic Recovery, or Recover program, and that's the genesis. It came from different council members, and we took the whole package back, and now we've got it going.
And employees were involved in that process as well.
Absolutely, we had a meeting with the 100 or so supervisors that the city has. We have a once-a-month meeting, so they know what's going on. In this case, we did flip charts and got all their ideas. We went to the AGC and heard from contractors and builders. We talked to at the EDON board meeting, talked to economic development people, talked to small business development people up at the university. We tried to get as many ideas as we could in a quick time period, so we give the council the best options we could.
Maureen, you were involved in that process.
I was involved in the brainstorming process, and I am now involved in one prong of the 4 parts of the Recover program. So yes, a lot of staff was involved both in the evolution of it and in the implementation of it on the other side.
It seems like a really great concept. I have some notes here. And you mentioned the 4 parts. I thought we could go through each one of those parts and address the specifics of what's supposed to happen. Economic development.
Well, what we do there is we partner with the Economic Development Authority of Western Nevada, or EDON, DRI, Desert Research Institute, Truckee Meadows Community College, University of Nevada, and we're trying to, the council's, as you know, has the green priority they've had for a number of years. We're trying to retain and attract businesses in renewable energy. Specifically, we targeted geothermal because we had the Geothermal Resource Conference here in the fall. 2,000 people from around the world. We invited them on a tour of parts of the city, took them up to the university where President Glick gave them a nice presentation, and it was very interesting. We had people from as far away as Kenya looking around at Reno. So that and other waste to energy initiatives, things like that. We're trying to build a new part of our economy and create a lot of jobs as we do that, and build it on things that are sustainable and renewable, so that it's long lasting.
Jessica, what kinds of things are you seeing? What kinds of groups are contacting you to think about coming to the area?
You know what, just to go back a little bit, Maureen, and I want to talk about Maureen's role a little bit, because when we're looking at helping small businesses open, I mean, they're 90% of our economy here, and what could we do to spur people to open up a new place of business and employ people? And one of the things that we heard from small business owners or potential small business owners is that gap in financing, is that they weren't able to obtain financing because of the credit situation right now. So in speaking with Maureen, Maureen really said, listen, we have a program, community development block grant program, that can be used to help with employment. So when we tell the public We're helping with these small business loans. We got to make it clear it's not out of our general fund monies. These are specific monies for job creation and economic development. So Maureen really helped facilitate that and put that together with John Hester to come up with this program. And now my understanding is we have 8 loans in the works and 8 new businesses that are going to be opening. So hopefully we'll be able to talk about how to get information on the program.
That's great. Maureen, is there something you want to add to that? You found a way to partner with a group that was already in town.
We did, and I think that creativity is important to bring in at this point, because with fewer staff people and with some of the staff changes, partnerships in the community are really meaningful now. Nevada Microenterprise Initiative has been doing this for decades. They're experts at it. They bring together both the expertise and the community awareness that we need. So by partnering with them, we can get the word out. Deborah Prout is the president and CEO. She's been a huge support as we went forward in this. And yes, Councilwoman Sferrazza is correct. We now have 8 different applicants in the queue, which is very exciting. This is coming back to Council in February, so we'll be hearing more about it at that point, but it looks very promising.
If somebody's watching, who should they contact if they want to find out about these loans, and can anybody qualify?
That's a good point. There are, because this is CDBG money, we have HUD guidelines that we have to recognize, and so no, not everyone qualifies. But if you're interested in finding out whether you do, the best person to contact would be Deborah Prout, P-R-O-U-T. Her direct line is 324-1812, and she is, as I said, the president of Nevada Microenterprise. They're located at 113 West Plum Lane, so they're right in central Reno, and they are very interested in hearing from the public to see if there's any more interest out there. We would love to be able to use this program to create a variety of loans which could really help change downtown.
Well, it's my understanding that the banks are not as lending money as readily, so this will really fill a gap for some of those folks out there that have been displaced maybe from another job, and so now it's an opportunity for them to start that business that maybe they'd been thinking about doing for a long time, and now they might have the opportunity and possibly some funding to get off the ground.
Well, they have our funding, but Nevada Microenterprise has 5 other different kinds of programs. Great. So if applicants come in the door and they sit down and talk with Deborah, she may be able to offer a variety of different packages that fit their need, like a one-stop shop.
One of the things we had discussed at the council level when John and Maureen brought this forward was we were starting with the seed money out of CDGB funds. We wanted to see if there was interest in the program, and it seems like we're getting a lot of interest in this program. So if everything works out, I believe staff is going to come back to the council and see if we want to allocate additional resources to help small businesses. And it's not just limited to the downtown core. These are businesses that want to open up in the entire city of Reno.
Wow, that's great positive news for our community. So far we've talked about economic development, and we've talked about these loans. Another prong of this Recover program is training.
Right. We have a long-standing relationship with the Small Business Development Center up at the university, and we were able to capitalize on that. I don't know if people know, but they have a nationally recognized program, great training, and so what we're going to do is have that training here on, I believe it's the 4th Thursday of every month in the City Council chambers for small businesses, and it'll be hosted by us, and the training will be done by the people from the Small Business Development Center.
Again, not reinventing the wheel, but partnering with resources that are already available in the community, but making them more available to people through the city's resources. And then the 4th prong of this is the development fees.
Right, and the way that works is if somebody typically would come in and want to renovate a building or build a new building, small building, they would have to pay for a sewer hookup fee at the time they got their building permit. But they don't actually use that sewer until they occupy it. So council direction was, well, let's move those fees back to the time they get the certificate of occupancy, so they don't have the financing and carrying cost. And we're looking, council members sit on other boards like the Truckee Meadows Water Authority and the Regional Transportation Commission. They're looking at maybe doing that in those agencies as well, so that we don't pay unneeded financing costs that don't create jobs. So that's another way we're trying to stimulate recovery.
And this is something that the council has passed, or this is something that's still
they,
in the...
They told us to do it, and now the changes to our fees and our ordinances are being processed by staff.
And why did you feel that that was so important, Jessica?
You know, because I think the city, we have an obligation for job creation. We need to get people employed. As I said earlier on the program, we have a very high unemployment rate here. That trickles down to more foreclosures, that trickles down to more businesses closing, and we want to create a vibrant community here. And so the council looked at this and said, we need to do what we can to help create jobs, and this is one of those initiatives, and it's, as John and Maureen said, it's partnering with many different departments in the city to essentially streamline the process. And I think ultimately as well, another piece of this is what the Secretary of State is doing with the business portal, that I hopefully we'll get that up and running, where people don't have to go to the state, Department of Taxation, the local government to get a business license, that they can apply online and do essentially a one-stop shop is the type of model that they're looking at. And I think that's where we need to go, is get rid of the red tape and streamline the process and make it as easy as possible for businesses to open here.
I know one of the things that city staff did last year, there was a group that worked together to streamline the City of Reno business license process to make it less expensive in some situations, and definitely make it a lot quicker for some business owners to get their business license a lot quicker.
And we're looking at other applications have come forward to the council, like privilege licenses. We're looking at having staff review those right now. Do we need so many different licenses, for example? Staff is looking at all of those things to make things more efficient and to streamline the process to make it easier for people.
For so many years, Reno was known as and Northern Nevada as one of the best places in the country to start a business and be an entrepreneur. So this really falls in line with that, to keep that momentum going.
We have a great quality of life here. If you look at the open spaces, the trails, the Truckee River, even our educational system here, I think, in our tax base and climate, I think we are a very good place to do business. And I think the things that John and Maureen are working on with the transportation projects, we just got to keep improving our standing.
And I think that what we were talking about a little bit earlier with the economic development, the whole idea of making Reno stand out as the place in the country that is known for alternative energy and trying to lure more of those businesses here is really a great way to go.
And we have a lot of them here already that are growing. I don't think a lot of people know Ormat, for example, has a facility at the south end of the city that generates enough electricity for every house in the city. We're probably one of the greenest cities in the world right now already. And to see those companies stay and grow is good.
Great. Well, we're just about done. Is there anything else you want to add, Jessica?
No, I just appreciate what staff's doing to coordinate and keep it all together, and just want the public to know that there are resources out there available, and we're here at the city to help you.
So if you want to find out more about the Recover program, you can call the city's Reno Direct staff, and they will put you in touch with other people that can give you information, and that number is 334-INFO. And thank you all for joining us on this Council Connection.